Tonight on Patriots Unfiltered on TV, the Road Warriors. The Patriots sweep 3 straight games away from Gillette Stadium and return to Foxborough leading the AFC East. Drake May was good in Buffalo and New Orleans, but he was nearly flawless in Nashville. 2 touchdowns in 11 seconds. How the defense helped put points on the scoreboard.
Patriots Unfiltered on TV is brought to you by Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com.
He loads up, he throws a long ball, open man Brody, and he reaches out, he snaps it, he tumbles into the end zone. Touchdown, Patriots!
What a throw!
New England's newest deep threat stretches out to stretch the lead in a blowout victory over the Titans. Mike Vrabel remembered the Titans, and his return to Tennessee was both interesting and important. After a slow start, the Patriots submitted their most dominating performance of the season. Hello again, everyone. I'm Alex Francisco. This is Patriots Unfiltered on TV. The Patriots' 4-game win streak has now positioned them in the playoff race, and Drake May is getting some MVP attention. Let's huddle up now with Paul Perillo and Mike Dussault to talk about it. New England got off to a sleepy start in Tennessee, but woke up to score 21 unanswered points the rest of the game and secure their 4th straight win. Paul, Deuce, what was the turning point in momentum for you guys?
For me, though, that's just the 3-touchdown swing. That was really where all of a sudden the game just completely changed. Earlier in the first quarter, you felt kind of like they're going to go back and forth. Is this going to be another game that goes down to the wire? Then you score those 3 straight scores, the bookend around halftime, and they never look back.
That, to me, the double score, the old school Belichick, Brady double score there at the end of the first half. I thought Josh McDaniels really dialed up some good stuff. They were able to get that touchdown at the end of the half to take the lead into the locker room, come out, drive right down the field. 14-point swing right there. It goes from, you're trailing 13-10 to up 24-13, game, set, match.
Drake May looking in better and better every week, especially the deep ball. I mean, dare I call the Patriots offense explosive?
You can. I mean, it's remarkable, and credit has to go to Drake May. I mean, just the development he's made this year, the mistakes that he's avoiding, how comfortable he looks in the pocket, and you said it, Alex, the biggest thing, the big plays down the field. It just completely changes the complexion of your offense, the way that other teams have to play you. For so long we've been around here, we're in a 10-point hole. It's going to be a grind to get that 7 to try to make it a game. Now it doesn't have to be a grind. Drake May can make those plays with one throw of his arm.
And that's, to me, is the thing that really stands out is, that, you talk about the completion percentage, and I talk about this all the time. It really is a meaningless stat to me. I don't really care about it. But in this particular case, it's eye-opening how accurate he's been considering how far down the field a lot of his completions are taking place. So the last couple of weeks, Alex, explosive, absolutely. He's on a heater, no doubt, but that to me is what's really stood out is his accuracy on deep balls. We saw a little bit as a rookie last year, but he's not missing any of them now. Nope.
You're right. Like it's surgical. It really is, and it's effortless. And then he's spreading the ball out to all these different receivers. I mean, like, what was your favorite throw this week? Because he's finding these guys, and we've talked about it. It's not a lot of volume, but the guys are ready when the ball comes to them, and it's a nice way to live.
This was a perfect game for that. Austin Hooper's been a little quiet the last few weeks. Unbelievable touchdown catch in the end zone going over the top of L'Jarius Sneed. That's a good cornerback that he made look really bad with, he mossed him.
Yeah.
I mean, let's call it what it was. He high-topped him.
Yep.
So you get that play. How about Joshua Dobbs?
Yeah.
Coming off the bench when Drake gets nicked up and he's got to go in the tent and get, assessed for a concussion. And he comes out on a 3rd down, shrugs a guy off, makes a guy miss, and then hits Pop Douglas. Later in that drive, when May comes back in, 4th down, Demario Douglas, one hand behind him. These again, you didn't ask all of these guys to go out there and carry them for the game. You asked, make a play. And every time they were asked to make a play, they did, and they were all very important to that victory.
Do you think it's Drake kind of elevating them, or have they just found a sweet spot with Josh McDaniels' scheme and just coming together?
I think it's a little of everything. And I mean, look, you got to give credit to the players. I mean, they're the ones out there executing. But I think the environment that Mike Vrabel has put together here in his short time back in the building, Josh McDaniels, whatever he's selling to Drake May is clearly picking up on and buying into. The offense seems to know what they're doing, and you get more confident with each win. You're buying in more to the system. You're trusting guys more. So they've got some positivity really going across the roster right now, and they just got to keep it going.
Just go back and look at that video that we put out. You know, our content team had that tremendous locker room video after the game where Drake May is, you know, giving Mike Vrabel his flowers after, you know, obviously a big emotional win for him and the other coaches that spent some time in Tennessee. That game meant a lot. And you can just go around the room and you can see Stephon Diggs in the middle, Hunter Henry over there, Demario Douglas is in the background. You're right. It's the opposite of what we've had the last couple of years. With every win, it's getting a little bit more exciting in the locker room. There's a little bit more belief, and the culture gets a little bit better. Now, were they winning because they have great culture, or do they have great culture because they're winning? Who cares?
Chicken or the egg?
Who cares? They're 5-2.
I love it. And you brought up Rhamondre. The Titans going to this game, we said, are the perfect team to really get into a groove and establish that ground game. And Rhamondre led the way with that. But I don't know, I feel like it kind of tapered off. And even when Jeffrey Simmons left the game. So was that a little bit of a concern to you guys, or were you just happy to see production in general?
I think it's a start, but I think you're totally right to point those things out early on in the second half. It felt like there wasn't as much space as there was early on. But you'll take what you can get when the running game has been so unproductive the last few weeks. So to get, you know, maybe this is something that they can build off of. No question, they took advantage of some light boxes early on. That got them going. So at the very least, you're looking at some positive strides in the first half, but I think there's still, you know, a little ways to go for this running game, but Drake continues to buy you time because he can throw the ball down the field and score touchdowns.
And I have to think that at least some of the success throwing the ball was a result of the early success from Rhamondre Stevenson, 18 carries, 88 yards, and I thought he looked more like the back that we know. You know, there was some question the last couple of weeks, is he running a little tentatively because of the fear of, you know, losing the ball and the ball security and all that? I didn't see any evidence of that. And he continues to do all the other things as well, Stevenson. I think him handling his struggles has been impressive. I mean, obviously no one wants to see your running back put the ball on the ground 3 times the way he did in the first, 5 weeks of the season. But how he's handled it and how he's continued to block and contribute in other ways, it was good to see him have that success, because I think the offense is going to need that kind of balance. It can't just be all on Drake May.
What would your reaction be if someone told you, hey, I just came back from the future and the Patriots are 5-2 going into this game against the Browns?
The NFL is about offense and passing offense, and if you have a quarterback that can put the ball down the field and score points quickly, you should be in most games. And what still gives me reason for optimism with this defense is that they've been clutch in the situation. So maybe conventionally, second down, third down, maybe they're not as good, but when it's a gotta have it moment and it's third and long, this is a defense that has been stepping up to make the play. So if they can round things out, I think they'll be okay.
Still to come on Patriots Unfiltered on TV. The Patriots return to Gillette Stadium, where one of the stingiest defenses in the NFL will try to stop their 4-game win streak. We'll preview the matchup with the Browns. Fred Kirsch offers a dose of reality on the Patriots' schedule. What's behind slow starts for the Patriots' defense? Trash Talk hashes out the reasons and the solutions. And I'll go one-on-one with Patriots running back Rhamondre Stevenson.
Patriots Unfiltered on TV is brought to you by Cross Insurance, official insurance broker of the New England Patriots, and by Sports Illustrated Tickets. 50 million sports, concerts, and theater tickets. Same seats, better prices. Fans deserve better.
You're watching Patriots Unfiltered on TV.
What's up, everybody? It's Evan Lazar. It's the Week 8 Patriots Unfiltered film room. Patriots Browns, good to be back home. Let's keep it rolling. 5 straight for the Pats. And before we run this play here, I want to circle one guy on this Browns defense. You know where I'm going. It's Myles Garrett right here. And I think a good way for this Patriots offense to keep Myles Garrett at bay is let's just move the pocket away from Myles Garrett, because I don't want to deal with number 95. So the Steelers and a lot of teams here have had a lot of success with bootlegs against this aggressive Browns defense. So you see these split back formation here in the backfield. Aaron Rodgers is going to do what's called a spinner fake, play action fake. They're just going to run the crosser and the deep corner to clear it out against this single high safety. And as we roll the coverage or roll the play, you just see the coverage doesn't get to that crossing route. It's wide open. It's an easy 25 yards, and you keep Aaron Rodgers away from Myles Garrett. You don't want to deal with this Cleveland Browns pass rush and traditional dropbacks. We know how athletic and mobile Drake May is, so I expect to see the Patriots move the pocket a ton on Sunday. I'm Evan Lazar.
After going to Tennessee to get a win, Mike Vrabel is once again very familiar with the Patriots' next opponent, having spent some time as a consultant for the Cleveland Browns. So, Paul and Mike, if last week was a revenge game, what are we calling this?
Just try to keep playing good football and doing what you've been doing football. I mean, certainly some subplots, and Mike Vrabel, really valuable year for him last year. Said he'd spent a lot of time with the offensive line. No question Mike Vrabel's got a ton of respect for Kevin Stefanski. And, you know, Kevin Stefanski could just find a quarterback. He's always had that defense. They've been a pretty good team no matter who's been under center for them. But it's another big week for the Patriots. They got to keep it rolling.
I think that what Mike said is very true. I think Vrabel really benefited from his time with the Browns and working on the offensive side of the ball. I think, sort of having that year off, I think sometimes can help. So I think he's appreciative of the opportunity that he had last year in Cleveland, and certainly got to know the personnel. When we're talking about high-end personnel, most of it's on defense with this team. And, it starts with Myles Garrett. But this is a team that defensively can make life difficult. So this would be a stiffer test for Drake May and the boys.
Absolutely.
No, you're right. I think if anyone wanted to discredit this 4-game win streak that the Patriots are on, it would be strength of schedule. But this defense is really going to be, with Myles Garrett leading that way, a huge test for an offense that's really been rolling. So what are your biggest concerns there?
This is by far the best defense they've played this season. They are a heavy man defense. They play a lot of cover one. They're very good against the run. They have a solid pass rush with just 4 guys. It's going to be the biggest challenge I think that the Patriots have faced, and especially for their young offensive line, facing some of these disruptive guys up front. I mean, they already had a couple pieces, and they went out and took Mason Graham, who, we talked a lot about him. He looks pretty good. These guys are disruptive up front. It's going to be a huge challenge for the offensive line.
Yeah, I just want to, caution, this is going to be the biggest challenge for the Patriots offense.
Yes.
It's not a great team, and there's a reason they only have 2 wins. This is a defense that on all 3 levels, they're very tough to run the ball on, so we'll see if they can build off of what they did with Rhamondre Stevenson last week in Tennessee, but this will be a much more difficult challenge.
On the other hand, Cleveland's offense has been inconsistent.
Yeah.
Pedestrian to be kind.
To be respectful. You mentioned inconsistencies at quarterback, but is that it? Has that been their biggest issue, moving the ball?
Well, I mean, it's a rookie quarterback in 3 starts. Now, he hasn't turned the ball over at all in those 3 starts, and that's been something that, has kind of helped the Browns stay competitive in these games. But you have other rookies around him. Harold Fannin Jr. is a tight end, really athletic guy that leads the team in receptions. And Quinshon Judkins has really come on, a top 10 back as far as rushing yards. Right now for Dylan Gabriel, it's about the short game and hitting these tight ends. Njoku missed last week. We'll see where he's at. But that is what concerns me a little bit about this Patriots defense, is that's what they've struggled to stop, is the tight ends, and that's what Gabriel's going to do. And if he's not making mistakes, and then on the other side, the Browns defense is making life tough, maybe forcing turnovers, something's got to give. Both of these teams have been really good at not turning the ball over, but those could be key factors in this game.
I think Stefanski has done a nice job of allowing Gabriel to try to make some plays without putting him in harm's way. And they need more from Jerry Jeudy. He's been a disappointment. He's had some drops this year. And I know that they don't have a great receiver core, but he is the one known commodity that they have. He hasn't been good enough for him. But I have been mildly impressed with some small pockets that I've seen from Gabriel.
I'm now joined in the studio by Patriots running back Rhamondre Stevenson. Rhamondre, thank you for joining me.
Of course, thanks for having me.
You had a big weekend in Tennessee. I know Coach Vrabel kind of challenged you, the running backs, the offensive line, to really ignite the running game. What allowed you to rise to that challenge?
Really the offensive line, they took the challenge and ran with it. They gave me plenty of open holes to run through. And I feel like I just stayed on my tracks and, stayed disciplined on my courses and just ran behind them.
What about this group has just been conducive to the early success you guys have had?
Just relentlessness. I think, things don't go our way all the time, but when it doesn't, I feel like we still fight. We're not front runners over here, and I think we, hang our hat on that.
Josh McDaniels, that's one of the changes this season, but he was here when this organization drafted you. What's that reunion been like?
It's been great. I feel like he knows me best out of these offensive coordinators in the league, and I think he puts us all in the right position to, succeed.
You went through a lot this offseason, having lost your father, and I'm wondering how Josh and just your other coaches and your teammates in football in general has helped you get through this time.
Josh specifically, he's been very instrumental in keeping me going and just keeping me focused at the task at hand. And he's always just calling me, checking up on me, and we have a very good personal relationship outside of football. So I'm grateful for that.
Now, you obviously faced adversity on the field too, and I'm wondering, what's it like getting through that, the ball security stuff, when mentally you went through so much this offseason, and that doesn't go away, right?
It's hard at times, but just knowing what I have to do when I come in here for work every day, just put my best foot forward and get through it. And another thing that made it easy was just my coaches, my teammates just behind me, just kept me confident. And I feel like I'm the hardest critic on myself, so there's nothing nobody could really say to get me down and things like that. I just keep working.
And when I hear you speak to the media, and even right now, I see a guy who has a lot of wisdom and accountability. And even in your football career, you've been through so much, sitting out a year after high school and JUCO, and it's just, does that perspective help you out and push through these times because you've been through so many tough times before?
And I'll bring up my dad again, actually. My dad been through way more than I've been through, in real life situations. So football things and career things, if it's not going my way, it's kind of easy for me to just keep going and stay on that track, because like I said, I know ones close to me that had real life things going on and still kept pushing through. So that gave me an extra boost of confidence as well.
Well, I think that's a really nice way to honor him. And is it true that you wear his ashes in your bracelet?
It's right here. I never take it off unless it's game day. I don't want to break it.
What's it like just for you to know that he's that close to you, spiritually and physically?
When I get down a little bit or I'm not having the best day, I just look down, maybe kiss it or something, and just talk to him a little bit. So just having him right here just feels like, he's with me and I can still talk to him.
Yeah, that's really beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, we wish you the best of luck this weekend, and we'll be back with more Patriots Unfiltered on TV after the break.
Patriots Unfiltered on TV is brought to you by Cross Insurance, official insurance broker of the New England Patriots, and by Sports Illustrated Tickets, 50 million sports, concerts, and theater tickets. Same seats, better prices. Fans deserve better.
You're watching Patriots Unfiltered on TV.
The Patriots are 5-2. Media and fans are looking at the schedule ahead and penciling in wins. It's great that winning football is back in New England, but before we make our reservations for Santa Clara, let's take a look at some of the challenges on the horizon. The Browns have the #1 defense in the NFL. That's right, the Browns. They're up next. The Falcons have an offense full of weapons. Baker and the Buccaneers are flying high. The Burrow-less Bengals and old Joe Flacco are still scoring points with all their weapons. Now, I thought the Giants had something going before their epic meltdown last Sunday. We'll see how they recover from that. It's going to be tough. Are the Patriots going to beat the Bills twice this season? Even beating the Jets and Dolphins twice this season is tough, regardless of how bad they're playing. Going 4-2 in the division would be an accomplishment in any season. Will Lamar Jackson be back by the time the Patriots go to Baltimore? If the Patriots make the playoffs this season, and many are now convinced that's coming, it will be well earned. Prepare for the grind.
In 7 games, the Patriots' opponent has scored on their first possession 5 times. So what's behind the slow start for the Patriots defense, and will it end up costing the team? Paul Perillo and Mike Dussault debate the readiness of the defense in this week's Draft Talk.
All right, Paul, another slow start for the Patriots defense, and you got to help me out with your many years of NFL experience to figure out what is going on with this defense. I've been doing statistical deep dives, trying to figure out what it is, but is it as simple as they just need to come out of the gate ready to go and making plays? Because it sounds like once they start making plays, they're feeling pretty good about themselves.
I'm not going to just sit here and whistle past the graveyard and say, this is great. The other team scores in the first drive or two every game, and there's nothing to worry about because they button it down there. But I am going to tell you, Mike, I'm not that worried about it because they generally button it down from there. And what I'm talking about is not necessarily, the whole game per se. It's more situational. I think they've been pretty good on third down. I think they've been pretty good lately in the red zone. And I think when the games have been on the line, go back to the week 2 in Miami, they need to come up with a stop. They're able to make enough plays. So situationally, I think they've come through.
All right, Paul, I'm going to drop some stats on you. I'm going to try to make it easy to digest because I don't want to get too caught up in the numbers. But I went into this deep dive of EPA. And essentially what I found out, that Patriots second and third down and long, they're really good. Second and third down from 1 yard to 6 yards, they're terrible, near the bottom of the league. And those numbers kind of jumped out to me, and it kind of made sense to me. When offenses are in rhythm and they're hitting plays on first down and second down and they're rolling, it seems really hard for the Patriots defense to stop. So what I'm trying to figure out is, how do we get better at short and medium yardage on second and third down?
So just let me get this straight. You needed to go to a website to find out that if they can have success on first down and make it second and long or third and long, they have a chance to get off the field. I needed a website to tell me this?
The numbers don't lie, folks.
My goodness, they seem to be better when they get the long yardage situations, Mike, that you're talking about. They dial up some pressures and they get home. But I don't think they're doing enough with the pass rush, just with the front four conventionally. So maybe that's one way they can be better on early downs.
Yeah, maybe an easy way to start. Just get a fast start in the game, maybe pick off a pass, quickly change the dynamic that has been the Patriots struggling on those first few possessions of just about every single game. Can they get it together this week against a tough Browns team? Find out after the break.
Now back to Patriots Unfiltered on TV.
Let's get to some predictions. Last time the Browns came to Foxborough and pulled out a win was in 1992, and ever since the Patriots have been 7-0 when hosting Cleveland. So the Sharps expect that to continue this week, guys. The Pats are 6.5-point favorites, and the over/under is 40.5. Deuce, will the Patriots improve to 6-2 this week?
I think they will, but I don't know if it's going to be easy. It's hard for me to bet against Drake May, and this is a quarterback-driven league. And so if you have a quarterback who's en fuego, you got to stick with him. But I think that Cleveland's going to keep it close. But I think the Patriots pull it out. But I like a close one. I'm going to say Patriots 20-18.
When you have an extended road trip, that first home game sometimes can be like, oh, all right, we're back home, and you're kind of let down. But I think good offense beats good defense. So I think Drake May is on a heater right now, and I'm not betting against Drake May. I think they'll get enough at home. I'm going to say 20-16. I agree with Mike. I don't think it'll be an easy game, but Patriots win it 20-16.
My hope is that the defense will really keep Cleveland's offense off the field, and eventually the Cleveland defense will just get tired out. And that's a great strategy for me. I'm going to say 27-13.
I like it.
I don't know. The vibes are high. I'm going to keep riding them.
How can you not?
But that's going to be it for this edition of Patriots Unfiltered on TV. As always, you can catch us every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday on Patriots Unfiltered on Patriots.com from noon to 2 p.m. For Paul Perillo, Mike Dussault, I'm Alex Francisco. We'll catch you next week.